Hi, friends. How's it going? Super excited to see everybody today. I am live from the floor in my bedroom again. Um, and Anna, thanks so much for sending out your video. I got a little bit behind just having Olive being here with homeschooling, but I'm excited to be doing this because I feel like it's a good challenge for me to really like slow down and stop and think. I listened to a webinar on Zoom with Mark Cuban this morning, and it was so interesting because he talked so much about being adaptable and how there's going to be so many heroes that come from this, and how he really expects people to rise to the occasion with their innovation. And I'm excited to see how things unfold and how things evolve, especially in real estate. So, when I think about my biggest failures, there's a lot of them. I'm sure most of you can identify with that, having personal failures and business failures and whatnot. Some of the ones that come to mind recently are last summer, I had two leads that I had been talking to for quite a while list with somebody else. And really the burden fell on me because I totally dropped the ball, and both of these listings were over 3 million. So no small fish here that I was upset about. And really, it forced me to look inward and kind of admit that I had gotten a little bit lazy when it came to leads. Um, I just assume that people I talk to will want to work with me in the future and will reach out when they're ready. But that really isn't the case, and it wasn't the case. And it kind of, I guess I had like a false sense of protection when it came to the connection between me and these clients because, I always operate off of a connection space, and I thought for sure they would come to me, but ultimately they didn't. And I really had no one to blame besides myself because I didn't follow up, I didn't call. I knew that they wanted to sell. I just didn't, reach out as much as I should have. So that was a really big lesson for me. Another big lesson for me, this came pretty early on in my real estate career, and Anna can definitely attest to this. I don't know if you guys know, Anna and I have been friends for a long time, way before real estate. So I was so brutal about comparing myself to other agents constantly. Like, I would check the MLS statistical roster every day to see like what people had sold and how much they had sold and where I was and how much I needed to sell to get to where they were. And it was so unhealthy, and it was such a it worked really poorly in my favor because I was just constantly wrapped up in like a shame spiral of feeling like I wasn't enough and that I wasn't doing enough and that I wasn't a good enough agent, instead of recognizing that everyone comes to, their own personal success in their own times, and success looks different for everybody. So that was a really, really tough piece to overcome in my real estate career. Some of the successes, those are so much more fun to talk about, um, was about 3 years ago. One of my really good friends in Santa Barbara, who's also an agent, told me about a lead generation program called Commissions Inc. And it's pretty expensive. It's like $1,500 a month. And I could not be sold on it if my life depended on it. And Tyler is my friend in Santa Barbara, someone that I trust wholeheartedly. He's a very good friend, was also a very good friend prior to real estate. And he just kept telling me how much it had helped his business. And I kept pushing back. I was like, no, I'm not ready for it. No, I can't like commit to spending that much money a month on it. It's just too much. And in the end, he was like, well, what do you have to lose? Like, why don't you just give it a try for a couple months and see how that goes? So I gave it a try, and it was after like was met with a lot of hostility and resentment. And I was just having a really hard time swallowing the fact that I was going to A, have to pay for leads, B, that I needed the help of a lead generation system. And within 6 months, I had closed my first lakefront sale, which was a huge success for me. And then, like 3 months after, I sold my first house on Lakeshore. And since then, those people have gone on to buy 6 more houses in Incline. And now a lot of my business comes from that lead generation website. And that was a huge success for me to like get really comfortable with being uncomfortable and to accept that in order to grow and evolve my business, I would have to keep up with changing times, including technology and how things were shifting. And seeing the success from that made me so proud of myself that I had just decided to take the leap and do it. So that for sure is one of my biggest successes. I would also say one of the biggest successes I feel about real estate is that it allows me to have this lifestyle that is really flexible and free, that allows me to give back to the community. That's probably been, if I look back and I say what's like the proudest moment, my biggest success, it's being able to work in real estate and make a living that is the vehicle for me to be able to help people in the community. So yeah, that's what I have for you guys. See you soon.